Speak for yourself. I'm past.
He's passed. All right. Done for the day.
I am a pre-recorded message.
Yes, you are, Chris.
Leaned pretty heavily on the Squatchable website this week.
No.
Keep getting the old error 401 on.
Well, you know, if you need a source for Sasquatch, go to Squatchable. They got every day. They got stuff up there. Every day.
Single day?
Every single solitary day. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I think it's actually pretty cool.
It's amazing.
There's a lot of effort goes into that, you know.
And we are grateful to those who put the effort in. So, are we ready?
Sure. Well, since we're here.
Might as well. Alrighty then. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Squatchable podcast, where we will take a look at some of the news in Bigfoot from this week. Joining me from the 40-inch slip, Chris York. Chris, how are you?
Absolutely wonderful.
And for my other co-host, what else is there to say except some say he once abducted an alien and survived in open water by sifting plankton through his beard. All I know for sure is I call him Phil Pulling from Power Breakdown. Phil, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. And if you enjoy Power Breakdown or the 40-inch slip, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Heading over to Facebook and Bigfooting with Keith and Colin, where this week, I don't know what's going to happen. I've absolutely no idea. I might take a week off. I've got absolutely nothing going on creatively. Just going to level with you guys, break the fourth wall. And
you're allowed to do that.
I know. So, without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen, and let's just jump into it. Our first article comes from, I guess, parent or sister website, Squatchable. It is a short interview with Peter Byrne. Last month, the FBI posted documents regarding potential Bigfoot hair sent in by Peter Byrne. KPTV for Oregon recently posted a video featuring a short interview with Peter, highlighting his life in the Bigfoot community. He also mentioned there were tracks along with the hair sample he sent in. We covered this, basically the interview, a couple of weeks ago, a sort of text version, but this is a full 2-minute interview. It's available on Squatchable. Phil, did you have a chance to read that? Watch it?
Well, I know Peter Byrne. I believe in that sample is a bear, mainly because when I described my account with him of the call that I heard, he kept arguing with me that it was a bear. You know, and I know it wasn't a bear, and he was like, "No, it was a bear." I'm like, God damn it, you know. But no, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the interview. He's getting on though, isn't he? He's getting up there.
He's in his early 90s, 92, I believe, or 93.
And it says a Bigfoot hunter who's never. I don't think he's ever seen a Bigfoot or.
No, anything. The interview starts with him saying he's never seen one.
Right.
It's him and Cliff Barackman, I believe, has never seen one either.
Yeah, well, but he's a Bigfoot hunter.
He is.
And, I mean, better luck to the guy. I mean, he's been doing the research for all these years. And granted, in the last 30 years, he's basically not done anything. But,
you
know.
Wow.
You know.
That was a bird.
It was, yeah, well, you know, the guy tells me, yeah, it was a bear. I'm like, no, it's not a bear. Yeah, 99% of calls are bears. Okay, all right. Thanks a lot, man.
I'll take that into account the next time my phone rings.
God,
it's a bear trying to reach you about your car's insurance.
Yeah, was that you? Was that you phoning, or was that a bear?
It's Cthulhu.
Perhaps he's just gotten disillusioned with the whole thing.
I think he probably has, to be honest. Yeah.
I meing, I got disillusioned pretty quickly with the whole
Doesn't
Bigfoot
take long.
scene. No, it does not. Doesn't take long to break you.
Ka-ching.
It doesn't. I mean,
No, I know.
let's face facts. Almost everybody I've talked to who has something to do with the Bigfoot community winds up getting pissed off, upset, getting into a fight. People backstab each other. I mean, it's very, very common.
It
Very
is.
common.
You know, we just had on the 40 and slip, and I mean, I don't want to talk out of turn or put any words into his mouth, but we just had on the 40 and slip the other week, Steve Culls, and the reason we had him on was because he had made this post about how he was done with Bigfooting because of the stuff that goes on, and I instantly had messaged him,
Yeah.
you know, like, hey, I think it's time you came back on the show.
Well,
But-
there is that.
Point and slip is a good place to vent.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, and let's face it. You know, the inmates have tended to take over the asylum from time to time, and that can, you know, for someone who's taken it seriously, very seriously, it would be a bother emotionally, I think, because.
Mhm.
But you know, someone like myself who I look at it all hopefully with a bit of tongue-in-cheek humor. I know this stuff's going to happen. It's not happening to me. If it did happen to me, I don't care. You just ignore it and go on with whatever it is you're doing.
Right. Which is fair enough. The article, the interview does point out that the majority of sightings, the reason that Peter Byrne has put so much credence into it, are concentrated in the Pacific Northwest, which is pretty ideal primate habitat from what I understand.
And it's also a bear habitat.
Also a bear habitat. Are you not going to let that go, are you?
No.
No.
No. It's too good. It's just too damn good.
Well, that's fair enough.
So would you say that's bear territory?
It is. It's bear territory where there's bears.
So heading over to Squatchable to watch that small 2-minute interview with Peter Byrne, noted Bigfoot hunter and bear identifier. Our next story also comes from Squatchable. As I said, I'm having a bit of trouble with the EU, so we are relying pretty heavily on Squatchable at the moment. It is another sighting report, and regular listeners to the show know that I really enjoy these. So it's written first person. I was working for the US Forest Service on the Monterey Ranger District. One of the first things we had to do before the day began was go on a 2-mile fitness run. I don't remember the specific day. I began my run about 8:30 a.m. About 3/4 of the way through the run, I began to fall behind the crew. I came to the area known as Abbott Lakes area. I stopped to catch my breath. I then heard a noise off to my left on the hillside. The hillside was covered in oak trees, poison oak, and thick brush. The hillside was shaded from the sun, so I had to look real hard to see what was hearing. I noticed what appeared to a man walking up the hill about 20 feet in front of me. I then realized that this was too tall and too wide to be a man. It was about 8 feet tall. It stopped, turned its head, and stared back at me for about 30 seconds. When it turned, the whole upper body turned with head. I could not see its face because of the shade. It turned and walked up the hill. I ran back to the station, knowing what I seen was not human. Later that day, I was with my supervisor alone, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, you've seen it too." He later went on to tell that other members of Forest Service seen it too. He states that the season prior, that one employee said he has seen close up and it was covered with hair. I just blew it off. A month later, I was placed on the night shift with one other person. One of the things was to check the boneyard area for campers. One evening, we drove into the boneyard, and about 30 feet in front of us was a dark 8-foot thing walking away from our vehicle. I did not say anything to my partner until we drove off the area. She said to me, Did you see that? I then asked her, what the hell is it? She told me she had seen it several times past. That was the last time I seen it. Another beautifully written sighting report there.
Good stuff.
Yeah, well, I have my doubts about that story. Normally I'd say, yeah, it's a good story, blah blah blah, and a lot of them are credible, but there's a couple of red flags for me on that story particularly. Oh, by the way, did you mention that the boneyard is just a place where they store old equipment, not really a boneyard?
No, I just read the
Right.
sighting report.
Yeah,
verbatim.
we at work we have a boneyard, and we just put all kinds of crap and garbage and old derelict equipment in it. That's what
It's
they
not
call
like
it.
that place that they just raided.
Right. But yeah, it just seems like everyone in this crew has seen it. Which, come on, what are the odds of everybody in that crew all seeing it? And then also at the end of the story,
No,
which
not seeing, Phil. They seen it.
They seen it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's. But at the end of the story, did you mention about the thing that looks like the head of a turtle with a long tail jumping and hopping around?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's the end of this story. That's another thing they seen. So yeah, I thanks BFRO for that great story.
All shapes and sizes, Phil.
All shapes and sizes.
Yeah, the BFRO database is a resource.
Am I back to sounding deep again? I saw your little note there, Richard.
Yeah, there's a lot of complaints in the chat room about your voice. Chris, you
About how
sound
my-
weird.
Chris, you sound weird.
Chris's
Okay.
voice sounds deep.
He sounds like Matt Knapp.
Well, great.
I know, right?
I got to start narrating some stories.
You don't
Okay.
have 'em. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting story though with the the turtle
I do
head,
love
long
those.
tails, turtle
I
heads,
do
long-
love those stories. They are so badly written and so entertaining.
They
I
are
will
entertaining. I like them.
I will always read one out if I can find one. And it can become a running thing, like the conference thing used to be before. I just couldn't anymore.
You don't know how to drive a bit into the ground.
I can drive a bit into the ground. I just, it was making me sad.
Mick West. That's all I got to say to you.
That was a 2-year-long bit. For the sake of my own sanity, I had to get him on the show.
Yeah, that's good, right?
All right. So, Phil, you're a Republican, aren't you?
I am. Yes, I'm a registered Republican. Yeah.
Even though Rick Dyer believes you to be a Democrat.
I can't talk
Correct.
to you anymore, Phil.
Yes.
Political we have to be on different sides now, Phil. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We must
anyway.
fight and wish each other dead on a daily basis.
Actually, I am a registered. Reason I say registered Republican is because I'm a libertarian and constitutionalist, and I don't know where that actually falls in the scale, but
you shouldn't have to register at all.
I shouldn't have to.
No one should have to register as a Democrat or a Republican.
Right.
You should and the two-party system's horrid anyway.
It needs to be we need a zero-party system.
Right. You need to run on a platform. But anyway, back to the story.
But anyway, back to the story. So, as a Republican, would it interest you to know that a new insider poll found that Republicans were statistically more likely to believe in the Illuminati and Bigfoot than Democrats?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
And Democrats are far more likely to believe that extraterrestrials have visited Earth.
That doesn't surprise me either.
People that believe in chemtrails.
What about registered independents? Because
Exactly.
I, Richard, am a registered independent.
Well,
there you go.
Those who believe in chemtrails.
And I can hate both parties equally.
And simultaneously.
That's right. But unfortunately, Republicans and Democrats cannot hate my party as much because it's very, very small.
Yeah. So go on with the poll.
So those who believe in chemtrails,
I have to make up for last week, Richard.
yeah, yeah, have to derail me 3 times, isn't it? Those who believe in chemtrails tend to identify as liberals, whereas, and here's the interesting thing, flat earthers are evenly distributed across the political aisle.
Yeah, because that's just plain crazy.
That's just crazy. And crazy doesn't fit into one political agenda.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the poll. I love the poll. How it's like which party doesn't believe in any of it, which party believes in all of it. You know, aliens and Bigfoot and chupacabra. They believe in all of it. Which party is that? And opposite is which party is skeptical or doesn't believe in any of that crap. I mean, they stop halfway. They just I don't think they did their job. I just don't.
Me neither.
Probably.
But I'm surprised that more liberals are chemtrails than, because I'd have liberals in the Bigfoot camp.
No. The liberals, they believe that we're being sprayed by Uncle Sam, and they're dropping some kind of stuff on us.
Now, Phil.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Phil. See, no, we're not going to do this. See, no, because I hate it when people make blanket statements like that. Because that's like me saying all Republicans are racist.
So there you go. There you go, right there. All Republicans are racist. You heard it.
Yeah.
You heard it right from his lips.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that?
The problem is I don't give a shit.
Why did you choose that as an
thing,
example?
Phil.
See, there we go. No.
Why did I go there? Because
because that's a thing.
Because that's a thing that people say.
Yeah.
And I am against people saying those sorts of things.
I am
those
too.
blanket statements. And that's why I had mentioned at the beginning of the article, that you and I are in different sets in the political landscape, and that we have to hate each other now.
Oh, I've hated you for a long time.
Well, yeah.
Well,
the poll asked over 1,000 respondents. I'm just going to make one desperate effort to get back on topic.
Okay. We're still talking about the topic.
That's true, we are.
I am a member of the Illuminati, by the way.
Really?
Targaryen?
My brother's in the Freemasons.
Oh, cool.
It's not the same thing.
So we're brothers.
Right.
Go ahead.
If any, which of the following unproven ideas, paranormal phenomenon, or general beliefs do you believe to be credible? Allowing survey takers to select from a list of 15 choices, including options like the existence of chemtrails, the efficiency of crystal healing, as well as none of these. Nearly 1 in 5 survey takers who plan to vote in their state's Republican primary or caucus believe that unclassified organisms such as Bigfoot exist, more than 5 percentage points higher than the Democratic counterparts. The same numbers held true for those who believe in the Illuminati, an alleged elite secret society of people who supposedly control the world, actually alter world events. There's nothing supposedly about that, by the way. The Illuminati do really control the world. Democratic voters, on the other hand, clocked in higher.
Foil hat, then.
Yeah.
Sure, they do.
They totes do. Clocked in higher for aliens, with 21% believing that aliens have come to Earth, a proportion that mirrors the general population, compared with 17% of Republican voters. Survey takers, who self-reported as liberal, were also more likely to believe in chemtrails. More than 22% of those polled the theory that the clouds of condensation behind airplanes contain chemical agents which meant to control the public. These people identified as liberal to some degree, while only 17% of people who identified as conservatives were chemtrail truthers.
Looks like the media's
See,
done
the
their
problem.
job.
The problem that I have with these surveys is that people will lie. People will always lie. And I would bring up for instance, if you're in the 1950s and they're doing a survey about whether you're gay or straight, a lot of people are going to lie about being straight.
Yeah.
Do you get my point? Like if there's a type of stigma in society against things, then I think people will lie, even on these surveys where they're like, "Oh no, no one's going to know what your answers are." They still feel that I can't come out with something, that I believe in or whatever. So I have a problem with these types of surveys.
Yeah,
general.
I feel the same way. When somebody comes on TV and they say a recent study indicates,
Mhm.
and immediately it turns me off because
when they can
anybody-
read minds, then
anybody
yes.
can do a study. You can pick up a book, open about Bigfoot. Pick up a book, open, read the first page. Congratulations, you've just done a study.
Mhm.
It's almost meaningless, and yet people use the most inane crud, to make some kind of and put it all together make some.
Now, do some people do decent statistical surveys?
Yes.
But I still I always have questions.
You gotta be cautious about that.
You know,
There's an old saying: statistics are often used in the same way a drunk uses a lamppost, for support rather than illumination.
right?
That went a completely different way than I was expecting.
Well, what were you expecting?
It just doesn't matter.
We were talking about Bigfoot, I think.
We were.
Right.
Okay. Moving on to our next story. From Squatchable, we have White Bigfoot Hunkered Down. And
Yep.
this wonderful 1 minute 30 video is just a work of art. If you haven't seen it, the link is in the description. Phil, did you watch this?
Unfortunately, yes.
Can we expect a breakdown?
Well, I might, but if I do it, it's going to be basically about the channel itself and I'm.
Did we lose him?
Did we lose Phil?
Oh, we lost Phil.
We lost Phil. It's a white blob.
It's a white blob on a very, very grainy video.
It's a white blob. I mean,
it could be
what
anything.
else can it be, Richard?
Could be a goose. Could be a sheep. Could be a dude kneeling down.
It could be a dude.
It just isn't. There's no. It's a good video.
Now, I did not see the video. Is this like a thermal?
No.
Okay.
What? No, you should have watched the video.
You're okay. So it is an actual white thing.
It's taken at night. And
okay.
They're in a car.
And the lights are kind of shining on it?
The headlights are on, and the camera pans around like this sort of wooded area.
Uh-huh.
And it's really, really out of focus at first. It doesn't get into focus until like the end of the video. And then finally, at the end of the video, you get this, what's on the screen now, this blob.
Nice.
And that is Bigfoot hunkering down.
No.
No.
No. I was going to talk about the channel. If you look at the videos on this particular channel, all of them are basically the same thing. So I don't know if this guy is serious and he's some kind of a delusional person, or if this is a joke. Maybe he's trying to reel in those who are delusional that admit to seeing.
And to be honest,
anything.
Phil has said the same thing about my channel.
Yeah. Well, and I'm right.
With good reason.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, nothing about that. I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know his name, but yeah, it's a BS channel as far as I'm concerned, and it's garbage.
It's a nice white blob.
It's one of these things of that earlier conversation we had about people being, kind of upset about the way the community's gone, and they're just fed up and all that. Well, this is one thing. This is one of the things that they would point to.
Yeah. The thing that I would say about stuff like this is that it takes away from actual evidence
And research. Right.
whatever. It takes away from it.
You know, there's people that would like to talk about Bigfoot in an open conversation, you know, at a cocktail party or something of that nature, and they don't want to bring it up because of this crap. You know, they mention Bigfoot, and everyone's eyes hit the ceiling. Oh God, here we go.
Oh, my family makes fun of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
So
it's absolutely hilarious when there's a certain members of my family, when they get together, they love to bring up the whole Bigfoot thing, and I have to correct them every time. I'm like, listen, I'm a skeptic. You believe in that stuff.
this is the stuff that Coles was talking about. And it's like,
Oh, absolutely. This is
you know.
yeah. It's yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is, and I don't know if it's there for entertainment or if the guy's completely bozo on the bus. I don't know what the deal is, but it's garbage. That's all I can say.
Phil Pulling, it's garbage. Quote.
He's got his finger on the pulse, Richard.
He knows his onions, Bigfoot wise. So for our final story, we go to the Gatlinburg Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, which is happening this weekend. It's all day today, all day tomorrow, 9 to 5. Enjoy stories of Bigfoot investigations and sightings from Cliff Barackman, Bigfoot field researcher and co-host of Finding Bigfoot on Animal Planet, plus other speakers. Wow. I know Jeff Meldrum is supposed to be there. So he's been bumped for just Cliff Barackman. Wow.
Well, Cliff is making the rounds.
Yeah.
And Cliff's a very personable guy.
He is.
So purchase your tickets online today. VIP seatings is available, and there will be a Q&A period after every speaker. And that is this weekend.
Yeah. And it's Gatlinburg, Tennessee, the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains. You know, it's interesting. Seattle is known for the Space Needle. Do you know that Gatlinburg, Tennessee, they have a Space Needle as well?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a big, tall observation post. And they also have this, well, not a chairlift, but these gondola things that go up the side of the mountain. 2 miles long this thing is. Goes right up to the top of the ski area.
You know what Peebles, Ohio has?
No.
The Serpent Mountain. You can go to the 40 and Slip Lake page and see the video.
Yeah. I was trying to warn you about the Copperheads, but you never replied to my my message. So
no, I didn't want to give it any credence at all.
They don't call it the Snake Mound for nothing.
I found out that there's an alligator mound.
Oh, that's weird.
Down in that area too, or something like that. Yeah, they've got some other weird ones. But yeah.
All right. So
good old Gatlinburg, though. Yeah,
Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Go see Cliff talk.
Yeah, and go up to the top of the Space Needle.
Yeah,
and take that gondola ride all the way up the top of the hill. 2 miles.
I'm with you.
2 miles up
Let's
there.
do it, Phil.
It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. So that'll wrap us up this week. Tomorrow night in the 40 and Slip, you have a tale of mystery, kidnapping, murder, and Bigfoot, don't you?
Yeah, I came across while I was on vacation and stuck in hotel rooms with cable television, which I haven't had for ages because I stream everything now. I came across a 2020 episode that involved kidnapping, pedophiles, murder, a serial killer, and Bigfoot, all in one story. It's absolutely and Yosemite. So
there's a good show coming on in August called Paranormal Emergency that you guys got to check out.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the ID channel.
Yeah.
Heard it's going to be good.
And Phil, I see you uploaded a video. Are you back? Did your monetization come in?
No. I applied over a week ago now, and still haven't heard. So
nice.
Yeah, swell.
To be honest with you, Phil, I use YouTube as a platform, but my efforts are far away from YouTube now. My numbers are growing way faster on my podcast on the podcast platforms, just the audio version only.
Right. Yeah,
and I'm
that's
not
a good one.
monetized at all. I just do it for fun.
Yeah. But
All right. So we will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It is good night from me, and it is good night from them. Good night.
See ya.